wonderful thing that immediately came through. The universe was like, yes. And by your way, like your niche is not what you think it is. And I was like, this is going to be interesting because all of us know we've all invested in working with coaches that have said in like, you know, in this industry, you have to be really niched down within your niche to have a very pinpointed, this is my thing, this is who I work with, so that you can attract them better. So I'm interested to see what the universe has to say because that's kind of contradictory. My guess is they're going to go in a more esoteric, philosophical slant on this. So please know that this isn't ditch your niche. Like I don't feel that at all. I think this is going deeper into the how you can fully be yourself within a given sector to bring that all out to show the world. Any questions before we get started? No? Okay. So I'm just going to mute everybody. Thank you for being here with us today. And we really wanted to talk on this topic of what you call the niche or whatever it is that you're pinpointing your business to. And we just delivered to Amanda something that was very similar to the call that she let us give to you through last week, which was about working with the stars. And so we wanted to say that really when you are working within your niche, you really are being the full star of all that who you are being. So what this looks like down on energetic terms is, just so you know, anything that you're doing in business, it's not about business. Anything that you're doing in the world, anything at all, whether you are out shopping at the grocery store, whether you are out walking your dog, whether you're talking to your neighbor, whether you're at a 9-to-5 job, whatever this thing that might be, that could be your business or a specific niche within your business. What we want to say to you is you're not actually doing what you think you're doing. What you're really doing is being love. You are offering love. You are being love. You are sharing love with the world, no matter what it is that you are doing. So we want to let you know that anything that you do in life, it always boils down to that. So write that down on the side and circle it and put that somewhere that you can see that, because we want to let you know that always come back to love, always come back to love, always come back to love. No matter what question you have, whether it is in your business or your personal life, always come back to love. And that is what we also say with the Superhighway of Abundance. Amanda was putting together a manifestation training for her one-to-one clients today. She specifically put in there, come back to the superhighway of abundance. It always comes back to the superhighway of abundance, because we always say to her, it always comes back to the superhighway of abundance. And so we want to say to you, it always comes back to the superhighway of abundance, but it also always comes back to love. Love is the only energy source out there. So how this breaks down into a niche of a specific business, or let's say you're even working, somebody that works in a 9-to-5 and you work in an HR department, or you work in accounting, or you work in customer service. We all want to go back to, it always comes back to love. It always comes back to love. It always comes back to love. And we understand that almost when you're thinking about working for another big business, that it is quite interesting to think that it always comes back to love, because really what the rest of the world tells us, it always comes back to the bottom line. It always comes back to money. And sure, that is what the bigger overarching scheme of a big business might be. But when you take it back to the core of why a business was started, it always comes back to inspiration. It always comes back to somebody's creativity. It always comes back to filling a hole in the void. Write that down, filling a hole in the void, because filling the hole in the void is all about being loved and loving. And when you are being of service to somebody, and by the way, we want to say you don't serve anybody. You are all very powerful creatures. You're all very powerful beings. When you make decisions, power moves through you and to you and out to other people as well. So you can be of service, but you aren't necessarily serving others. You are always serving the love within yourself, the love within the world, the love within yourself, the love within your world. Write that down, repeat that back to Amanda later. And what she also was speaking about with Sue, so thank you so much, Sue, for posing this question, is that it almost sounds like you were asking Sue about marketing. And so what we want to say to you, and Sue, oh, so you are so beautiful in this aspect. is always being of love and seeing all of the people. So when you talk about a niche and you say, I do this, I serve this people, I get this result, or I get this product to this people because it makes their lives better or it makes their family's life better, right? When we go back to making lives better, that's all about love. And so seeing the potential clients, whether it is just that you are writing copy, whether you are reaching out to a partner, whether you are even just posting on somebody else's Facebook page or social media, or sending someone an email that could at any point in the future be a potential client, is seeing them as the powerful, loving creature that they are. So this is one way of you showing up so powerfully in your niche. And this is saying it really has to do with who you are and who you be, and to be so fully that, because you are the star out there. You have the solution that somebody has been looking for so long. And what happens is when you see these people, right, the reason that you're working with them is because you care so much, or you wouldn't be here. It's not all just about the money, because we all know that when we say it's all just, when people are thinking about money just comes back to, we want to feel happier. And when we say we want to feel happier, it really comes back to feeling that deepness of love and being loved and loving others. So we're always coming back to love. And so you see, when you are thinking about working with new people or releasing something new, or the exact wording that you need to take to speak to a potential client is to come fully back to what a loving creature they are and what a loving creature you are, and how you can fully let them feel that through who you be, through your vibration, through that the guiding light that comes out from your heart that calls people to you. We're taking a breath here because we want to let you absorb all of this. We want to let you know that this is quite a powerful transmission today, and that it leads to powerful transformation, and to really always come back to the star in your heart, because the star in the heart is really just you being 110% of who you are. When you're being 110% of who you are, you're always loving everybody around you, even the people, the places, the things that get on your annoyancing. But when you come back to it, when you come back to your fully into yourself, you're always going, oh, but the love and the gratitude, the love and the gratitude. And so to see, oh, this is such a powerful leader stance for you that will help draw people to you so naturally, is for you to see them as the loving creatures as they are, to see them through your loving eyes, into their loving soul, and to see all of their potential, and to speak to them through that. However it is you're speaking, whether you're actually speaking to them like this, or you're speaking to them through an email or any other manner. And so what we say to you is, this really doesn't have to do with your niche. This really doesn't have to do with the sale. This really doesn't have to do with how the next client's going to come in, or how the next money is going to come in, or the marketing, or anything like that. It all comes back to yourself. And when you can come back to yourself and be from a place of love, and see what you're offering as it being sent to other loving creatures who are so powerful in this world, that is where you're going to naturally draw people to you, like flies to honey, or the moths to the flame. And it feels so good. And when you come from this place, you get so excited, you get so energized when you speak to them, however you speak to them, or you're writing to them. And when you're getting from that energized place, you're really on your super highway of abundance. See how it all comes back? It comes back to things like the love and the super highway of abundance. And when you're on those places, and when you're so coming from there is nothing else other than fulfillment, and for these loving people to step into your space, into your container. And so one of the lovely ways that we love to, and again, we are bringing this up because we were working with Amanda on this yesterday as she was writing her manifestation training, is to say, okay, so there are separate spots, there are separate seats all around the container. So if you think of a circle, and you have a little circle within a circle, and each of those spots is for a potential client, whether you're in the service or a product-based interspace, and you just see it as filled with love, and you see it as you loving on them, but loving on them at their highest creative potential and their highest power, because they are such a powerful being, just as you are. And so you're allowing the love from your heart to flow to the highest love in their heart, and they're letting it flow back. And that is what is drawing them in, and that is what is filling. And so at every single spot along the way, you're just giving so much more love, and so much more love, and so much more love. And we will take questions now.
There was just an observation I want to make. There was the comment about being of service versus serving. And that little distinction, and just having the power move through you, that it was being somebody who does for others all the time, and in not doing the service, not being of service, serving, it's a very different energetic feel to that. And
I'm so glad that resonated for you. Yeah.
I mean, I think I've been doing that, but just hearing the words about it, I've been making that shift, just letting, and the star in the heart, and the guiding light.
Yeah, it's like when they talk about the guiding lights, I always see a lighthouse in my mind. And right, the lighthouse is calling the ships home and calling the ships home safely. And interesting, the lighthouse only lights up during the darkest times.
Ooh, good point. Yeah.
And so you can light the lighthouse up anytime. Like you could light the lighthouse up during the day, right? That's when most of us are working. And you just let your energy speak so clearly because the light's still going out, even though it's bright out. This is where, okay, so they're having me say this example to everyone. Within the niche, you all know the training, like, where are they at? Where do they want to be? What do they feel like it's them and costing them? So they're pain. So it's like they're in the darkness. They're not, because they're powerful creators, right? They're powerful, loving beings. And if it's like you can see their highest love in their heart and your highest love in your heart meeting and saying, okay, we're going to get this done. It's that pain point that is causing her or him to look. Right. I had one of my mentors recently talk about enrolling clients into like that were making high multiple six figures into a 7-figure program. And my mentor said, they don't have a lot of pain points at that point, right? You can't just like go down a list and say, oh, it could be money. Oh, it could be time. There's other stuff going on in there. So but there's still something in their heart, in their soul that is causing them to look, whether it's at twilight or the darkest point at night. And something else that the universe just popped in my mind to share with you was for anyone that's either seeing this now or seeing this on replay or coming back to this, right? Because you can come back to this in a couple months and review it. Is a good distinction is, let's say one of your best friends was sick and wasn't feeling good. Not COVID, like it's nothing you can catch, right? You would go over and take them food, wash their dishes, like even vacuum their house for them. People do that for friends and family that have just experienced a loss, right? That's being of service. That's not serving, right? And even if you think of like a maid or a housekeeper, they're being of service. They're not serving. They're not the servants that, have to live in the basement for subpar wage. They get to choose. And I actually know, Marianne, you may have had this experience because in California, I know that lots of people have housekeepers. And there's always the like, let's clean up before the housekeeper comes, right? But that's also being of service. I know a lot of people are like, because we don't want them to all talk and say X has the dirtiest house, but it's also, you don't want to lose that housekeeper. So the person that's being of service to you, you want to treat them right. So mixing that in with the being of service. Does that help out a little bit? Okay. Thank you so much for voicing that. All right. Next, questions or ahas or comments, anything that you want me to go back into the universe and speak to them on. I feel like there's and please correct me if I'm ever wrong about this, but what I'm getting is there's an underlying question mark around stuckness right now. And what I'm getting is, okay, this is why they're telling me to connect all of this. Okay. Okay. The universe is saying the star, the heart, seeing other people as powerful creators and powerful decision makers. Those all help get you unstuck at any point in life and your business that may be stuck. Would you like me to go down and ask them to speak more on this? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Corey, Michelle. Okay, it just popped up on my screen, Connie. Okay. Does anybody have anything they'd like to add to this? I'm also being called to share with you. I'm going to share it in copy sometime soon. I just got a message from this morning, and this always makes me cry happy tears when one of my clients who has been trying to conceive and has like done all this stuff to conceive, it finally took. And you're right, I get the happy tears. And she's high multiple six figures, still working a full-time job in her business. Yeah, she's like a rock star. And finally, last month before her last treatment, she made the decision, I'm leaving my full-time job, right? Because the universe was like, look, when you make that decision and you can dedicate all of your energy, right? We've all been there at some point, right? Or having side jobs or whatever. That is when things will move forward. And that is when, and the universe is like, you're going to get pregnant. And so she made that decision, was like, I'm going to hand in my notice. I think it was like sometime in March. And then she had her treatment and the results are positive. And I was like, okay, and this is what the universe wants me to say to you, take a hot pause. Your decision is so powerful. When you make that, like, come hell or high water, that's my grandmother speaking there, come hell or high water, line in the sand, decision, like mountains move. And that decision can come from your light, your star, your heart, seeing the light in others, seeing how much you can be of service to others by being so fully in. There is no other option, right? Like, you have burned all the bridges. Things move so quickly and things get unstuck. So that being said, I'm going to let the universe do a little speaking around that for you, and I will pop back. This unstuckness. We're so thankful to have the time to speak to you about this today, because this is something that has been coming down to Amanda and through Amanda from us to speak to everybody in the world about right now. And that is this unstuckness. So that there is this universal feeling going on in the world that it feels like everything has stalled, or it could be things like Amanda has received many things about nobody's commenting on my Facebook post, and these are from her colleagues, these are from her clients, these these are from her friends, and she has also received people saying, I feel like my income all of a sudden went flat. It was going really well, and then it came flat down. Or I feel like my personal life is stalled. Like, I'm literally itching out of my skin. Like, I have to get out of this place. And we want to say to you right now, there's a lot of people moving right now, even in the midst of everything that's going on with the world, because the world has really come to almost the 365 days of this COVID. And we want to say to you, the COVID is a mass shift in this global world. And we do not want to make light of the suffering and the losses that are going on. We just want to say that there is this big shift. So we want to phrase that with, no wonder so many are feeling different stuckness at various points, whether it is in a business or it is in their personal life or in their love life or with family members. And so we want to come back to, you can move any sort of stuckness, whether it's the beginning of the stuckness or the I am going to rip my hair out stuckness, because we want to let you know we are always there with you from even the very beginning phases to when you get to the point that you want to rip your hair out. And what we want to say to you is you can help negate these ripping the hair out moments by being on your super highway of abundance and always coming back to love and always coming back to the star, just as soon as you start feeling those little inklings of stuckness or frustration or irritation or whatever it is. And so when you come back, it not only helps you from getting to the point of ripping your hair out, because we all know we love you so much, but you don't make the best decisions when you are making decisions from that place of wanting to rip your hair out. And that goes for all you humans. It is just part of humans. And we want to say we understand you, because we are so there with you, holding you the whole time. So what we would like to offer to you is this, not letting it get to that point. And when you don't let it get to that point, you also shift out of stuckness so quickly. You shift so quickly. And we want to let you know just, so how easy it is. And we know we're always offering steps. There's only 1, 2, or 3 steps to making things so easy and coming back to things like the breath, or really talking about the gift that you are. But we want to say to you right now that we understand that sometimes there's this need to do something, this need to, that you humans have. And again, we love you so much, that you have this need to have to do something. And so we want to say to you, if you ever get to that feeling where you can't just breathe to receive, or you can't just get on the super highway of abundance, we want to come back to you, say, okay, here's what you can do, which is really about being in alignment. And that is, see the star within your heart, see the love and the nourishing within your heart, and then see it on the hearts of everybody around you. You can start with your family. You can start with your neighbors. You can start with your community. You can start with your clients. You can start with your potential clients out there, because we all know you have lists of people that you are like, oh, those would be my favorite clients ever. I really hope they sign up. See it in their hearts, and see it in even if you just see human figures of potential clients out there that are calling for you, right? Because they are calling for you, and seeing their heart and seeing in your mind's eye, letting that heart, boom, 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 and then it starts to glow, and then the heart start to glow, and seeing them as the powerful creators that they are, because like you, they can move something in an instant with a decision, and they go, and they go, and it gets bigger, and it gets bigger, and it gets bigger. And that is how you can move the stuckness. You come back to that over and over again. You come back to that until you can also get back on the super highway of abundance, until your whole vibration shifts, until you're into excitement, until you're in joyous, until you can say, hey, I will come to speak to a Facebook Live for nobody if that is what it takes, because we want to say to you, of course, you want to do the doodads and look into if you need to shift or leverage something. But remember, that's only a very, very small time. That's only a small amount. The rest of it is about you being you. And you letting the world see yourself and all of your love and all that you have to offer and how you can help them. Because we know this is about you. You care so much. And this is about you helping other people. Even if you're selling hair combs, those help other people. Okay. Questions, comments, ahas. Anything you need clarity on? Sorry, go ahead, Marianne.
The last line that you said, I don't know if I heard it right. It said, don't help people.
Oh, you do.
Oh.
You do help people. So Sorry about that. It's like, okay, so what I'm seeing is like the reason each one of you and everyone in the world does whatever it is that they do, it's because they're helping people in some manner, whether it's like the trash man or the recycling guy. They could do any other job, but they do the thing that has the least resistance. And when you're in the area of doing least resistance, it's because you're fully in your core, you're fully in your center, you're fully in your love, which also lets you be of service. Now, I'm sure if you asked a trash guy, hey, why do you do what you do? They're not going to say, because I want to be of service. They're going to say, well, it fits my family's schedule. I don't really have to talk to many people. I just like go do my thing and then it's all fine.
It pays well.
Oh yeah. And the universe is saying, what that's really saying to them is there's no resistance there. Sure, they might like not get along with their coworkers or their boss sometimes, but it's the least resistance, because that's what feels good and lets them be themselves. And so with the universe, what I was getting the takeaway from the universe at the end there was like, each of you really is offering a gift. Like each of your services is really a gift. And it's like they're saying, because they asked me to loop this back around to how powerful other people are. The universe is like, that gift that you're giving them is really the gift of allowing themselves to be the most powerful version of them, the most loving version of them, the most my heart is shining version of them. So Corey, obviously books, right? Putting that out there for them to help even more people, right? Because you're in the transformation. Michelle, you bring up this divine light and people that like nobody else can see in them. Like they sometimes can't even see in themselves. And like you can get way far down there. And when they bring that up and let them out, they're going to have cells. They're going to help more people. Marianne, when you help people, oh my gosh, I'm just going back to those coffee hours that we've talked about and how it's like, people just want to kick their shoes off. Like, yes, you do so much more than coffee hour, right? But it's coming back to everybody feeling like I'm important, even if it's in a big corporation, small corporation, business, and that I can take my shoes off and I'm not going to get fired for being myself in the workplace. Connie, I don't know your business that well, and I know you've got two sides. So, I mean, first, not for profit, like, hello, right? You're entirely giving. You are giving for other people to create giving. And I know the second part of your business, your coaching side, right, is all about helping people. And we know when people get results, they can help other people. They can provide more for their family. They can provide experiences. Other questions, ahas, comments, clarifications? Go, Michelle.
Hi. It was when you were saying, it kind of links around back to what you said at the very start when you were talking to Marianne about on the energy side of things, like if you've got people showing up and commenting and they are your people, not because I tend to at the moment, a lot of them are my like kind of entrepreneurs that I've met and we've become friends, but not necessarily because they're going to be a client, but just because I love supporting each other, or mentors and that. I get little mentors coming to that. If you're not seeing that feedback, it can be hard sometimes to feel like your heart is flowing to theirs. And it's a bit like what you spoke about earlier when you're doing an actual event with people, because it's quite reciprocal. It's like your energy bounces off of theirs. But when you said you were doing the Zoom, it was just you on your own all the time. And it's like you're giving and you're not seeing necessarily it coming back. But it can be really hard. Then you don't feel you're making those heart-to-heart connections, and you can almost feel like you're disconnecting from them, even though you know what you're writing is their issue. Because like my older clients, it's all stuff I've worked through myself.
Yeah.
And so I know that what I'm writing, that there is someone there who's feeling that, but it's almost like I'm losing that connection still. It doesn't quite feel it because I'm not seeing them. Do you know what I mean? It was like we were saying, it was if you were just sat in the room and you just had that feedback, you get that real.
Yes. So I almost feel like three things are coming through right now. One is the universe just wanted me to loop back around with you and say your colleagues and mentors can absolutely become clients without you being sleazy about it. I feel like almost everyone who has purchased from me has either been a colleague or someone in a program with me that I haven't reached out to, right? This is like they were like, by the way, same thing with the mentor. So it happens, and it happens entirely out of the blue, by the way. Like all my September sales, I was like, really? You want to buy from me? Is kind of how it went. So how do you, one, when you open the pathway to let that in, especially when you're not getting that like feel good from other people out there that could be clients. So here's what the universe is saying. So manifestation happens through your body, and other people are not the source of your money. Source is source of your money, and source delivers money opportunities through other people, place, and things. So coming back to source as the universe, right? Let me just clarify that there. When I was saying source, I'm so used to using source in that statement instead of replacing it with universe. So the universe is where you need to get your good feeling from. By the way, the universe is saying, if nobody's commenting on something, take that as feedback. Sometimes it is, I need to tweak my wording. I need to tweak my audience, right? Like no feedback is feedback. But the universe says, whether it's that or it's everyone's just quiet right now because they are so fed up with the internet. They are so tired of being stuck inside on Zoom and the internet. But here's the thing, they're still scrolling. It's that scientific dopamine hit, right? People are still scrolling. Like they're literally addicted to scrolling, myself included. Like literally I have to like put my phone down and like cognitively be like, Amanda, stop. Okay. So I'm including myself in this. So you're still there watching. And so the universe is asking you, and I'm going to give you a practical example here too, because they're literally showing something for you to do, is go to the universe for that feel good. Even if it's like, okay, I need to receive the feel good from the universe. Of course, downloading, receiving my copy, downloading, receiving what I'm going to do in a Facebook Live, putting that out there. But instead of it coming back from other people, right? It's coming down in from the universe, because the universe is your source. And I did a painting. Well, it's not done yet. I'll upload it later. I'm not going to go grab it right now. Around that. Now, for you, Michelle, and by the way, anyone can do this. The universe is saying, okay, we also want to work with how can we energetically get some like physical feeling going on. So take each one of your programs, and I think you've done something like this. So this might just be a refinement, but this might also be new to some people. So like take a sheet of paper, and you can take a big sheet if you need to, like my business or, my sacred services, whatever feels good to you. And then each one of your programs or even one-offs that you want to invite people to invest with you in, so you can help transfer them, whether it's a one-off or a front door offer. Make a circle that represents each one and then like write the name of that at the top. And you can do this on separate piece of papers if you want. Then decide, oh, what would feel really juicy? What would feel like the perfect juicy number to have in each of these where I can be fully present, but I still have enough time for myself. And here's the thing, your standard is the money is taken care of. You don't have to think, how much do I want to make? Because your standard already is, I'm charging what I'm supposed to charge. So just by having these people in here, the money is taken care of. Now, how do I want to feel them in my environment? So then you make little circles in each one to represent a person and their seat, their energetic footprint. And then you just take a little bit of time, right? Don't spend hours on this every day, but getting into your superhighway of abundance, coming back to your breath. And you can close your eyes if you need to and see each program and see whether, even if it's just outlines of women or men, whomever it is, walking in and taking a seat and you saying, welcome. I'm so happy that you have been here these last few months. So they're already here now, right? You're not saying, oh, congratulations, welcome to the program. You can do that with a few, but then have some of them, they've been here for a while, right? It's already happened. This is the folding and collapsing time part. And put that in each one of them and just be so happy. Like I love that my highest part of my heart is helping the highest part of your heart. And that you're getting to experience so much power and so much transformation and helping other people, right? And so you're feeling good around all of this. And do that, at the start of your day or before you write content or do a Facebook Live. And again, you can collapse that into like a 5-minute time period. This is not something you need to spend a lot of time on. And then just connect back to source. Like, so up here, right? If you see like a bright white light coming down from the universe into you, that's like, I'm the one providing you with energy. This is how I get through the Zoom stuff. So instead of live events, this is how I get through the Zoom stuff. Because I switched to Zoom years ago because of Hashimoto's. It's been fabulous. I still get a little tired because I don't have the feedback of the energy. So you know what I do? Connect to source, right? Get the okay, yes, even though they all might have these blank looks on their face right now, and it's harder to read an audience when you're like the practical reading of an audience when you're on the other side of a computer, sans when you're in a conference room with them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say to source, is there anything that they're not asking that they want to ask? Remember how earlier I said, okay, wait, I'm getting something about stuckness. You have that intuition too. All of you do. And you know your audience so well that even if you're like, I'm not getting anything, you can be like, well, why are they here? What are they usually like? And then I add a little caffeine. Not too much, because I don't want to like burst out my adrenals and completely collapse the whole thing. But I will do that to get me into that feeling of, and by the way, I'm not saying drink a bunch of coffee. I'm saying what gets you into that. I'm sitting with a girlfriend and we're having lunch and we're just like going like this nonstop and it's so exciting. And like, I'm just, right? I love to feel that way over Zoom, whether it's presenting or with a client. I find that easy to do when I'm in person. When I'm on Zoom, I go, okay. So same thing, Michelle would be like, okay, well, I've checked, my leverages, I've checked my copy, I've checked like all of that's good. Maybe I need a larger audience. We all should be recycling our audience all the time. And by that, I mean people going out, people coming in, people going out, people coming in. Because you're always refining who your perfect client is. And then people are getting introduced to you newly all the time. And then just ask source for that energy. Ask them for that feel good. Ask them for, I'm in a conference and we're getting excited and our energy is coming off of each other. Or I'm on a live and it's quiet, but I'm still getting the energy that people are commenting and that I'm answering these comments. And I guarantee you there are people watching. And I've done this in the past. There have been times where like nobody's been able to show up for a time, whether it's a Facebook Live or even like a Zoom like masterclass that I've done, even when they've been like paid ones and it's like just me on it because they're like, that time didn't work for me. And I'll just think, I'm like, okay, universe, we're at the Q&A part. I still want to make sure they get their value. You're supposed to say, well, here's a common question, or here's what's something that's on, and then I'll just start saying like, okay, here's what I'm getting, or here's a common question. and I will just do the interaction, but get the energetic feedback from the universe. Does that make sense? Does that address your question?
It's a good reminder to keep connecting back rather than relying on that feedback and trusting that what's coming through and what you're putting out is what you're meant to be sharing. Feel like what you said was, because I am the solution someone's been looking for a long time, and that it's.
And when you start working with women that are in like the high six figures, and especially if their business is not internet based or they're not on Facebook for their business, things are going to be really quiet. Things are going to be really quiet. And that is when you get to do the personal reach outs. And then they just come in and book, right? Because they don't have that many pain points. I learned that one over the summer when I was doing a live. I'm like, why is no one interacting with me? Well, because most of them were not Facebook-based businesses and they're running their empires. So they pop in at the weirdest times and they will just come in for short, succinct things. So it was really me like having to go on faith. And then I started talking to some other people and they're like, oh yeah, totally expect that with them. So no, it's also can be a group thing and it has zero to do with you. Anybody else?
Well, just based on what you said right now, Amanda, it's there is this thought around the higher level. There's really no focus on whatever the problem might be. I mean, and it takes a while for, oh, yeah, I guess you're right. That little niggly thing is close to what they're talking about, or, is, but then there is also a greater awareness. If they've gotten to that, they do know, oh, no, this is where I need to focus my attention right now. So it's just, if you're that thing that they need at the moment.
And you continue showing up because you never know when they can peek in. Not everyone has our time frame or our schedule, especially people on the other side of the world. Quick teleport over here. Yeah, that would be great. Oh, I'm just taking a deep breath. This was really good. And I realized you're just going to get one recording today. I didn't do a pause in between. What they're saying is like, just keep coming back to your heart, the heart to heart, highest part of your heart connections. Coming back to that lighthouse within, seeing the power in them, connecting with the universe, getting your stuff from the universe and not looking towards a specific other person, place, or thing. The wonderful thing is the universe always provides. The universe always provides. So you could have a crappy month of sales and everything is taken care of for you. Whether it's money comes in some way else, one that happens a lot, or things are offered to you. Somebody steps in and is like, oh, hey, I wanted to take care. Like your mom's like, I wanted to take care of something this month for you. Like I just got my new pension payout. You're like, what? So always being open to the like source directs who it comes through, and your source is the universe. Your source is source. And so to be open and look in all different directions. Always be open and look to any way it could come in. Any questions or clarification before we close for today? I love your face, Corey. Oh, thank you all so much for being here with me live. Thank you all so much for being here on replay. It is an honor to get to share these transmissions with you, and I get to learn and expand through them as well, since my source is my source. Bye, everybody.